Hey everyone, I'm Tsunani. Welcome to my new video. In this video, we will test out the watercolor pencils from Artex. If you not new here, you probably know that I love to use the normal Artex colored pencils. They are very soft, beautiful colors. I use them all the time in my sketchbooks. I made 2 reviews for you. I will link them, of course. So I had to say yes when Artex asked me to try their watercolor pencils. Like always, the packaging is beautiful. Look at these cute patterns. They also sent me a small watercolor sketchbook. We will have a look at it later. This is a clever packaging. In this set there are 72 colors and a brush which we will use later. You can put this nice box on your table very easy like this, and because of there are only rows of 2 pencils next to each other, it's easy to find your colors. This was different in the last colored pencil box. I will show this in a moment to you. On the pencils there is a color number, also the Artex logo and a barcode. You can't buy them individually. The pencils are dipped on the back side. This protects from breaking the lead and it's a sign for good quality. The lead also seems to be in the middle of the wood, what also is a quality sign. First impressions are very good. So here is the package of the Artex colored pencils of the 126 set. Here you have 3 next to each other. It's harder to see the colors in the middle row if they became smaller and to get them out of there. So the 2 rows in the watercolor pencil package is better. Let's have a look at this watercolor sketchbook. It has hot pressed 300 GSM 100% cotton paper. It has 20 pages and is 9.5 to 13.6 centimeters. It has this pocket on the front side. This is cool to put little notes and stickers and stuff in it for inspiration. This binding is very special. It's the same like in their other mixed media sketchbook. This should help to lay down your pages always flat. But on the first pages I don't like this so much, but then it's okay. I like normal bindings more. The paper feels very good and I'm happy that it's a hot press paper, which I prefer. It's a bit stiff, but I think this won't bother me at all. I will fill a spread in here with the watercolor pencils later, but first I can't wait to swatch these pencils, so let's do this. You also get a nice thick paper for your swatches with this set, but it's so buckled up that I will use another piece of watercolor paper. The brush has a very lightweight. It's a nice round brush with a fine point. I'm using it for the first swatches, but then I also tried a few other brushes. Also my go-to watercolor brush from Van Gogh, and later in my painting a detail brush from Da Vinci. The reason was you have to find the right brush for watercolor pencils. Some brushes lift a lot from the pigments from the paper. Then your colors are not as deep and nice on your paper. Then people think it's because of the pencils, of the quality of the pencils, but it's the brush. Also the paper is a big thing. As I swatched all the colors, there was one thing I really didn't like. The pencils were very crumbly. if you put a bit more pressure on them, they didn't break, but they crumbled. After my swatching, my desk was full of colorful crumbs. And later in my artwork, it was a bit annoying because the crumbs colored the paper on places where I didn't want these colors. So I think you have to know this. The pencils are very soft, but I don't know. Somehow they feel a bit scratchy on the paper. It's not a perfect, smooth drawing feeling. The color range you get is very nice. There are a few colors here and there, a few reds and blues, which are very similar to each other, but all in all, you get a good range of colors. Especially the greens are beautiful. Then I wanted to compare them to my Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils, which I love and which have very good quality. They also are very light fast, they say. They are also dipped on the back side, and there's also the color name on the pencil, no number. These are a bit pricier, but the reason is, what you can see in a moment, they are more pigmented and they feel very, very soft. There are no scratchy issues. I just wanted the comparison because I haven't used watercolor pencils for a while now, and the Artex felt not so nice and smooth like I remembered it. But now it's time to fill a spread in this cute sketchbook here. I sketched my idea with a Col-Erase pencil from Prismacolor. Then I picked a few colors and started with the background. I also used a black because I missed a few more darker tones in the set, like a Payne's Gray or a deep dark indigo. The paper of the sketchbook feels very good. It holds a lot of water, but this is what I expected from a 100% cotton paper. It's perfect for watercolor pencils because of the soft surface, because it's hot pressed. I started from dark to lighter colors and layered them dry onto each other. They mix together directly on the paper with water. It is possible to dissolve all lines from the pencils under the water, but then the color gets a lot more bright, and I lift the pigments if I'm working too hard on one place, so I decided to work fast. And I like the texture from the pencils underneath. I generally like the mix of watercolor effect and pencil strokes. This is what I prefer and what I normally do. I love to work with watercolors and then I use colored pencils on top. While I fit this spread, I remembered how nice it is to get all this with only one medium. I had a very good time here on these pages with the watercolor pencils, and I think these pencils are good pencils. The manufacture of these pencils and the packaging is very, very good. They have a smell but not very strong, and it's nice to work with them. Okay, they are not one of the best watercolor pencils I ever tried out. They have the scratchy feeling and they crumble a lot. This is a bit of a downside. I also wouldn't use them for commissions because I guess that they are similar light fast and have similar pigments than the colored pencils, the normal colored pencils from Artex, which I tested in my window for a few months, up to a year, and they are, especially the reds, not light fast. That's why I only use them in my sketchbooks, but I love them anyways. I will also test these watercolor pencils on their light fastness. I will inform you in a few months about the result. I also will use these watercolor pencils only in my sketchbooks, but I love working in my sketchbooks, so I will enjoy using them. In a while I will be able to tell you more about them when I use them a bit more. This review is only my first impression about this product, but what I can already say is that I'm not as happy with these watercolor pencils as I am with the Artex colored pencils. What makes me a bit sad, I have to say, because I hoped for more. All in all, it's a good product and you can get the set of 72 pencils for about $33, what is a very good price. The Faber-Castell watercolor pencils cost about $103 for 60 pencils at the moment. This is a big difference in the price, but I have to say also in the quality. You have to know what is important for you, of course. Watercolor pencils for fun, to play around with in your sketchbooks, for a small price, solid quality, or a very good quality, light fast and soft pencils, no scratchy issues, which you can use for commissions, but you have to pay a lot more for them. Yeah. If you are interested in the watercolor pencils from Artex, then look in my description, I linked them for you. Also the cute watercolor sketchbook, of course. I'm so happy that I worked with watercolor pencils again after this long time. I will definitely use this medium more again in the future. Also combine watercolor pencils with my watercolors, for example, or I will combine them with alcohol markers. This also will be awesome, I think. If you would like to watch a video where I use alcohol markers together with watercolor pencils, then let me know, please. I really like the spread in the end. These pencils inspired me for more and I felt very satisfied after this spread. I hope you also enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video. This helps a lot, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for your support. Also a big thank you out of my heart for my patrons. You are amazing. Then have an awesome week, my friends. See you next time. Yours, Tsunami.